So it probably pops something up on your screen that says you have to agree that you're okay with this being recorded, and then we'll go from there.
Actually, all I see is continue.
Yeah, something like that. Continue, or it's either like leave the meeting or continue, something like that.
Mine says got it.
Yeah, got it works. So click that, and then you should be able to see the screen. And also, you'll want to be on full screen, so you can move your mouse up to the top right corner in the view button. Click that, and there should be an option for enter full screen. And if that's too confusing, don't worry about it, as long as you can see me relatively well. Okay, so good morning, and let's begin. Any questions or thoughts before we go? Okay, I'm going to mute everybody, and we'll just get to it. So as always, starting in our meditation position, which establishes our vertical line. Right, so crown up, not letting your head be forward, trying to get rid of any slouching. Aligning everything in this vertical direction so that you can feel the effortless quality, right? Because any misalignment in your vertical structure becomes something that now a muscle group is having to work hard to keep you from falling, or just to keep the body stable, right? So the more correct efforts you can put towards lining up your central line from the top of the crown down through the body, down through the perineum, or the floor of the pelvis, through the two buttock bones, and you balance that line and then let go of that grip and that effort. When we stand up, all of that remains, and all we do is then let that alignment go through the two legs down to the floor, through the ball of each foot. And then when it comes time to walk or shift, wait, or do any of these little exercises, it's about keeping that nice vertical line and aligning it over one leg, aligning it over the other leg, aligning it over one. They call that in Tai Chi separate, empty, and full. So this sitting upright and breathing meditation is more than just getting your mind present. It's practicing the essential positioning of the body. So let's just be here about 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, to assist you in that direction, breathing. In through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth. Breathe naturally. Pay attention to the rhythm of your breath, the qualities of the breath like duration and length, and work in the direction of smoother, longer, more thorough. Breath round by breath round. Got to say, close the eyes so you can look inward. Round by round, let any distracting mind patterns and activity, as best as you can, let it dissolve. Let it just clear. Now, in your own time, hopefully you'll take 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes to sit and meditate. But in this context, we'll take just a short one and then we move to the next bit because it's sort of an educational progression, right? But in your own practice, you can, press pause on the video if you're watching this video and meditate for 5, 7, 10 minutes, then press play again and move to the next portion, right? So next portion, we just move the various body parts a bit. We do this more exhaustively on in Friday's class. Here we'll just do sort of a run through. So I'm turning sideways so you can see my body. You just stay as you are. Place your hands on your knees. Slide your hands forward past the knees, drop the head and gently round the spine. Slide the hands back, elbows pull back, lift the chest and look up towards the sky. Do it again. Slide the hands forward, round the back. We're moving gently all the 24 vertebrae. Slide the hands back, pull the elbows back, lift the chest. Let's do that one more time. Slide forward, round. Slide hands back and arch. And then settle to the middle. Ideally, what you feel when you return to this middle is more effortlessness, more throughness, more ability for you to just let go and let your body weight go through you towards the ground without losing the integrity of the structure. Then slide left hand forward up past the knee. The right hand slides back. Turn the shoulders and head and everything to look to the right and over your shoulder. And then sliding back through the middle, turning and looking back. Just do this gently. We'll do 2 more to each side. Just think of this like you're just winding and unwinding. The more relaxed, the better. So that the joints and tissues slide. They slide along past each other. And especially when dealing with Parkinson's, tension, any excess tension becomes a really big deal, right? Becomes a big problem that can become a huge obstacle, right? Which is true for everybody, but not as obvious as it is with Parkinson's. Let's come back to the middle. So that's why the Taoist practices of really emphasizing soft and sliding and melting into movement can be so useful. Let's let the arms drop alongside. Same idea, just droop. Loose as can be, sort of like you're falling that way. And then come back up to middle with that same sort of falling quality. Falling. And then back. Falling. So all these exercises will be able to be executed by you without adding tension. So that's really what we're practicing. It can feel very subtle, but if you can build a foundation of understanding that you can just fall and ease and slide through movement, and then you can build on that with more complex movement. Come back to the middle. Let's do our shoulder blades. They slide up. And that requires a little bit of action or doing or yang. And then yin, soften, melt, and get to where there's just nothing being held in the shoulders. Twice more. Shrug up. Usual suspects up here in the chest, shoulders, shoulder blades, and back. Go ahead and slide down. The usual suspect for where we just cling. We have these barnacles and stuck spots in the chest shoulder region, which makes us top heavy when we're walking. So now we're cleaning that out. We're unpacking that space. Now shoulder blade circles. I turn sideways so you can see. Shoulder blades go forward. Notice they're not going up. Now they go up. Then they go back, and then they slide down. Couple more. Forward, up, back, down. So same idea that we are unpacking the barnacles, stagnation, stuck spots in the chest, shoulder blades, back, neck region, which is just a usual suspect for that. Do that twice more, please. I'll let someone in here. One more. Remember, the emphasis is on this point here, melting. So you're not holding on. Now we go back the other way. So this is the doing portion. Doing and don'ting, or not doing. Doing and not doing. Melting, softening. Round. Better and better you get at thoroughness in these movements, the more you clean out, the more free the body feels, the more movements you can execute while sliding and releasing through movement. Last one. And release. Then the elbows, hands come up. Now we go elbows out like chicken wings and just up as high as they'd like to go. And then down. And then around in front of you and squeeze together. And then down. And then out and up. And down again, same idea. We're just cleaning out. We're doing a movement form or series that gives us a chance to encounter where we're holding. So some of you, you'll find certain movements that are in the series that we do easy, and you'll say, oh, that's easy. That means you have that area clean. There's space, there's polish. But then there's another movement series where you might find a bunch of crud. Let's go ahead and pull back now. Elbows go straight back behind. Then elbows down. Elbows forward. Some of you, this is as far as you'll want to go based on some shoulder injuries or frozen shoulder or something. But someday we want to try and go up. And then forward, down, back, and then down, forward, and up. So this idea of trying to encounter where we're stuck. So that's what these forms can be useful for, a practice. Because over time, areas of the body build up and they're different for each of us. Let's go ahead, back down and release. Let's do head and neck, chin down, back to level, and then up, down, up, down, up. Bring it back to level. Turn the head right, middle, and left. And again, the other important thing of having your own practice, a daily practice ideally, is that there's certain stuff you can't get done by force. Right? If you force it, the body becomes very defensive. But if you have a regular daily practice where you just gently turn to your edge and turn back and find your little edges, then in a week, in a month, in a year, you can make huge strides by little increments each day. Come back to the middle, and then this soft circle. Just a soft little circle, kind of like a bobblehead. Just try to loosely let the head go one way around, one way around, and switch directions. Just go back the other way. This one we're trying to discern for the brain that the head is not glued to the neck and therefore not glued to the shoulders and glued to the back. The body is very glued together, and as we unglue it and feel loose, then we can adjust our movement patterns. Let's go ahead and find the middle one final time. All right, scoot a little bit back. Let's just finish with our leg warm up here. shift over to the left butt cheek, bring that right leg up like so, push, return, down, shift the weight, lift the other leg, push, return, down, shift. So we're compressing all the joints, extending and expressing through the leg, returning to that compressed state, and then setting it down relaxed. Draw it in and up, push and extend through, draw. So that's another thing with the body, is that it's built sort of like this pulley system, right? Where what it really wants, what makes the body happy, is having gone all the way to its closed in position, and then all the way to its open position, and then all the way back, and then down. It likes to do that throughout the body because it squeezes the lymph system. It lets the nerve pathways express their whole line so they get their return, right? Last one, extend that leg at a comfortable angle to hold it, point foot, flex foot, point foot, flex. So the nerve pathways, especially again with Parkinson's, right? Let's go in and out. The nerves sort of get stuck in an unfinished movement pattern a lot of times, where it never gets all the way through. Go ahead and circle. So this emphasis in, this is why I love bringing Taoist and Tai Chi, Qigong movement to this community with you guys, is because its emphasis is on all the things that really are needed by Parkinson's sort of symptoms. It's very fascinating to me how aligned they are. Let's go ahead and float the leg, point and flex. So this emphasis on all the way to the end, all the way to the end. Rather than what often you'll see is people sort of stuck in a middle like this, where it's not finishing and it's kind of truncated and choppy. So, but then you have the mental ability to do it all the way. Now invert, evert. And over time, polishing those pathways. Let's go ahead and circle. Other way. And finish. And then last one for the legs here. Lift the toes, keep the heels on the ground, and open. Neutral. Close. So this little pigeon toe position. Neutral. Open. Moving from the hips. So the pelvis stays stable, but the legs now skip neutral, just open and close. And just feel that rotation of leg bone and hip socket, internally and externally. Last one. And neutral. Forward folds, hands on your thighs, hinge, bowing. And return to vertical. And then lean back a little bit. And vertical. So this is us keeping the legs stable, and the pelvis is the moving part, and also noticing the spine moves along for the ride. So you're not moving the vertebra, each one separately, you're just staying relaxed and connected. And then by folding at hips, well, there's this big movement of the head and shoulders and spine through space, but really the only place that anything's happening is here. And it's actually a very small movement that creates large movement on the outside. And that's another bit of Tai Chi. When we move from our middle, we can create large expressive movements on the outside from the fulcrum or pivot in the middle, right? Now, slide your feet back a little bit so that you have an acute angle here. And then we fold. Key to standing up is shoulders and head getting past the ankles. So that means from here, I need to go forward. Now my butt's off the chair, push through the earth, and get to vertical. Do that a couple of times. sit and stand, stand and sit. So butt goes back, butt behind ankles, shoulders in front of ankles, sink the tush, and now we're there. Now, again, the key bit here is that I don't have to gear up and put a bunch of work. The don'ting, the relaxing, I can relax, relax, relax. I'm still relaxed. And now I put just a little effort to go forward, but that's all. And then the rest of this is, again, relax, relax. On the way down, you can relax the entire way. Soft, the butt's got to go back. At home, you may find what you need is to stack a couple of blankets or a cushion or something firm to bring your chair height up, right? Like even for me, this chair is a little low. My knees are above my hips. You can kind of see that. There's an upward angle at my thigh. So this is a little bit stressful on my knees. I can get away with it, but some of you with other knee issues, right, you might find you need that lift, right, so that your butt's up here when you're starting, and then you can really work on all these forms. So go ahead and let's stand up one more time. Effortless, soft. Now 3 squats where you just sink to the point that you can and hover for a second. Feel that stamina challenge, right? This is in yoga, this is chair pose, but its real name is Utkatasana, which means fierce posture. So by sinking in and just holding, it's this fierce quality, this potency, this power, and then push through the earth and rise and feel that opportunity to relax the legs again. Twice more, Utkatasana. Booty goes back, shoulders are slightly forward, and then you sink the butt just the amount. So notice I'm only sinking a little bit and I'm feeling some work. Now again, I can go lower and I can go lower, but for some of you, this might be all you should do right here. You feel the work in the stabilizers, build that stamina and strength, and then vertical. Feel that effortless quality. One more. Sink and hold. And then rise. And stay standing. Get around to the back of your chair so that your hands can be on the chair. And you have some space between you and the chair, however, so you're not right up on it. Now, rock forward into your toes and then back into your heels. Forward into your toes, back into your heels. Do that a couple more times. Feel how your feet have a much larger topography than you might normally experience. A lot of people experience their foot as like one thing, one point, but the foot has all these different places. It's got the heel, it's got the toe, it's got the inner, the outer foot, all of that. The next time you're in your toes, stay there, press down through the toes, lift your heels up off the ground. Let's stay here for just a bit. Feel the calf muscles tone, shin muscles have to extend, and then control, rock back. Now the opposite, pull the ball of the foot and toes up. Your shin muscle, top of foot has to contract. Your calf muscle, Achilles, has to extend. And then rock and lift. And back down. And lift. Back to middle. Okay, so now I am moving my chair to my side so that you guys can see me go crossways. But you'll probably want your chair, and an ideal setup, I think, for this class would be one chair here, one chair here on either side of you with some room in between and facing the camera, right? Because if you're turned sideways, your head has to turn like this, which is not what we're trying to practice, okay? So that would be, I think, after having done this for a while now, I think that's the best setup. Is you guys chair, and then you can go over here, and then when it's time to switch, you just go over here, that kind of idea, okay? Now, we've got ourselves back from the chair. So you guys would go back from the camera and the chair on your one side. So let's say you're going to have your right hand on the chair and your right leg is your inside leg. So back away from the chair and have the fingertips touching, and take your inside leg and place it out there softly touching the heel. Level 1 of this exercise. Rock forward. Now you're in your right foot and you have an empty back foot or left foot. And then rock back. Now you have an empty front foot and you can softly move it there on the heel. So rock forward, tippy toe. Rock back, tippy heel. Remember, the ball of each foot is your bullseye. So when I shift back into my back leg, I'm looking to let the weight go through the leg and through the ball of the foot into the floor. And then I'm saying, okay, same thing here. Let the weight go through the ball of the foot. And feel how one leg is my full, or your full leg, toned. The other is empty, loose. And then you change that. Oh, now it's the other leg. Now, from level 1 to level 2, you might need your hand on that chair. Disconnect the front foot and place the heel back exactly where it was touching, and then rock into that foot. Then your back foot, disconnect it from the floor, reconnect, toe touch, rock back. Lift the heel, lower the heel, rock forward. Lift the toe, toe touch back, rock back. 1, and shift. So again, with each of these exercises, the beginning level is hand on chair, using it. The next level is hand on chair, but it's just psychological. Like, it's just the fact that you're touching it keeps you feeling like, okay, I can challenge myself. And eventually hand off the chair, knowing it's there in case of emergency. So you have to pick the progression as we go. Now, level 3, again, you might need the hand on that chair. The leg lifts, and then the knee. We fold at the knee and bring this knee up. And then softly set the heel down and touch it. Let's do just that portion a couple of times. Up. Softly land. Up. Softly land. One more. Up. Softly land the heel. Now, shift. Now that the back foot is the empty foot, not only do we pick up the toe off the floor, but we also bring that knee forward and up. And then, this is a good little practice, reach the foot back and touch the toe behind you. Let's do that a couple of times. Forward and up. And then reaching the foot back without your body weight going into that foot. That's usually a tricky little bit there. So, back. Up. Back. Up. Now it's back. Let's shift back. So repeat that now without the repetitive in between. So it's just 1, down, shift. Lift, reach it back without putting weight in it, shift. Lift, lower, shift. Some of you will do this with just psychological support. Someday you'll have no hands. One more. All right. Now, switching sides. So like I said, if you have 2 chairs on either side of you, like I was saying would be ideal, then all you need to do is just kind of go over closer to this chair. And now you'll have a different inside leg. I'm going to turn around so that I can go this way. You might need to move the chair to the other side or do whatever's required. First level one of this exercise here, the forward back shift. So now the inside leg should be your other leg. So probably your left. Fingertips lightly touching or no hands or whatever you need. Just shift and get to the tippy toes of the back foot. And you might challenge, hopefully you can see that this little thing I'm doing here where I like wag the leg. My foot's not leaving the floor, but I'm just checking to see how empty is it. And then as you rock back, you get to the tippy heel and you do the same thing. You just sort of wag the leg a little bit and just see how empty am I truly. Forward, little check, back, forward, back. So this level one of the exercise is the best time to practice no hands if and when you want to start doing that. Back, forward. Remember the bullseye, back. Level two, hand on chair if needed. Now it's all about disconnect the heel, return it to the same spot, shift. Disconnect the toe, return it, shift. Disconnect, reconnect, shift. Challenge yourself if you like by going light touch or no hand at all. Be careful with this, of course, because lifting the leg is really that moment where usually any misalignments and whatnot really show themselves. So this little pick up and down. Last one of level two. Now, level three, hand on chair, lift, bend at the knee, keep it soft and relaxed. Set that foot down. Let's just repeat that portion a couple of times. Up, down. Remember, this should be your inside leg here, whatever your inside leg is, meaning the one closest to the chair. All right, and now we shift. Now it's the other leg. We pick up the foot and bring the knee up. And then reach that foot back to softly touch the toe behind. Up, back, up, reach back, up, back. One more. And shift. So get that back leg to support, the other leg free. Shift, other leg free. Reach back without going into the leg, then shift. Lift, lower, shift. More. Last one here. All right. Switch sides again, whatever that means for you. Right? So it's either walking across, turning, or it's moving the chair to the other side. And, or just using the other chair. Set yourself up the same way, but be a little further back from the chair so that the chair is a little in front of you, out of reach, because we are now shifting into that front leg, taking this empty leg, floating it through to the heel and shifting again. So we don't want to get beyond the chair and be reaching behind us. We want the chair to end up right next to us, okay? Then shift back. This front foot empty, float it back to the toe. Shift back. Shift forward, Wait for the back foot to be empty, just float it through, touch the heel, shift forward. So initially, shift back, foot back, shift back. Initially, it has this sort of stilted, there's these pauses inside of it, but that's really to discern. So there's this moment, the float of the foot without shifting, and then this moment. And then back, swing, back. Of course, we would not go walking around the entire world this slowly, but in our practice, we have to find these discernment points so that eventually we can breeze through those discernment points with and not be missing them or skipping over them. So that, let's do a few more and maybe try to give it a feeling of ease and like it's a natural step, like you're just shifting, floating, shifting. So eventually that's what it feels like. It's kind of like you're just falling through one leg, falling through the other, very casual, sliding, easing. One more. All right, now we're back. Let's do level 2 of that, which again, fingertips just right out there if you need them. And it's lift, lower, shift, pause, and it's pick up the foot, bring the foot over a small object, and set that foot down with the heel, and then shift. Now here, the back foot, lift the foot, put the toe back down. Now we go back, shift back, front foot, pick it up, bend the knee to tuck the foot, and then reach it behind you, toe touch, and then shift. And we're here. Lift, lower, shift. Pick up the foot over an obstacle, set it down. On the heel, shift. So this is that discernment process, sort of connecting the dots. So we go from here to this point. Then we do this little movement. Then we shift back and we get to this point. So it doesn't have as much flow. It's sort of staccato or whatever. But if we do that enough and really get the feeling of ease, lift, lower, shift, then we can start to let it flow. So let's just do a couple where you give it that emphasis on easing, smooth. This is where the imagery, the poetic imagery that comes from Tai Chi and Taoism, which is very much into nature imagery. They talk about like the blue heron steps through the marsh, right? And so you think about if you've ever seen that, or if you look up on YouTube and see that, the way these birds move is with this poise. The whole body is poised, and they pick up the foot and they set it through the water. They shift onto that one, all the while looking for the fish that they want to snatch up, right? So that's where we can start to get that natural flow. Now let's go take that one step further, remembering this move of lifting the leg all the way up, lowering it down empty, shifting, then heel to butt, knee up, foot out, down, shift. And then this is foot up and knee up, but then we pause here and reach back, shift, lift, tuck, reach, shift back, and then we bring the knee up. Again, down, shift, knee up and over, step. It's like that blue heron having to step up and over a big reed or a little patch of grass or something, right? Oops, I shouldn't have put that foot down. Sorry about that. Reach the foot back, shift back, lift, tuck, reach back, shift back. Let's do 2 more. So it's up, down, shift. Once we've established ourselves here, then this is possible because this leg is free. And then we shift again. Now, once we've established our change, then this is possible. Back, shift back. Once it's free, then it's possible to safely execute that. One more. And switch sides. Inside leg, heel touching. Level 1, roll into it, swing through, touch the heel, shift. Shift back, empty foot, swings back, touch the toe, shift back. So this is very much like normal walking through the supermarket, down the street. Let it flow a few times where it's, see if you can execute it without any of that traditional effort, where it's just mostly just melting through one leg, melting through the other, melting through the other. Level 2, small obstacle. Lift heel, lower, shift. Then the foot has to disconnect, come over some small obstacle, set the heel down, shift. This back foot, disconnect, reconnect, shift, lift, tuck, reach, shift, lift, lower, shift. Up and over, shift. Disconnect, reconnect, shift. Just see if you can get that feeling like I pointed out at the beginning of your meditation position, from crown down through perineum, down through the legs, that ease. Imagine you're sitting in your chair the whole time and your legs are just carrying you through space, but yet you got this still point, this relaxed, easy torso. One more, level 2. Let's go to level 3. This is where you might need hand on chair. That's that full lift, lower down, empty, shift. Once this back foot's empty, it can execute the full bicycle movement there. Shift. And then once that back foot's empty, it comes to here. That's it. And then we go back, shift back, lift, tuck, reach, shift back, lift, tuck, lower, shift. The blue heron takes these exaggerated steps. Couple more. Remember, someday you actually look at the fish while you're doing the walk. Right? Those of you that feel more and more comfortable, you add looking around while you're walking. Last one. It's a great way to loosen up the neck as well, right? So instead of, that's why I didn't want you guys walking sideways, because you have to stare this way the whole time. Not so great for the neck. All right, so turning the head loose, loose. All right, and back. Let's close that with shogun, wings, turn palms up, the hands fold over the top and settle, settle, settle. Down to belly button height. A couple moments of breath right there, where you just let everything settle. Now, get to where your chair is in front of you. You're facing forward, right? So your chair will be like this, right? But I'm not going to have that there because you can't see. So chairs in front of you, and then get off to the right side of the chair so that your left hand can touch it. Left hand can touch the chair, right? And if you need to touch it, or practice not, but you know that it's there. Now let your body weight sink through your outside leg. It should be your right leg. Left leg becomes empty. And step the foot out, step the foot in. Important to notice, I'm not doing this. My body isn't going with the leg, just my leg is going. And then my leg comes back. Then my leg goes. And it comes back. Stays empty and comes back. Now, put the foot out there and leave it there. Change the weight into your left leg, but leave your right leg where it is. And then change back to the right leg. And then change over to the left leg. A few more of those. Notice empty and full. So when you're in the right leg sort of takes the body weight, it changes its status. This leg empties, changes its status. And then when you shift, they trade. And then when you shift, they trade. One more, shift. Now make your inside leg or your left leg, that full leg, bring the right foot in and back out without going with it. So stay in your left leg, bringing the right foot in, out, in, out, in, out. One more. In, keep the foot in. Now notice you go from left leg, change so that the right leg is the body weight holder. And then change so the left leg is the body weight. So this one is so important because it teaches us how the change is actually internal rather than this big movement side to side. So as you get through the left leg and then change, and notice that it's in the lower back and the pelvis and the legs, but it's really a downward quality of letting that weight down over here and then letting that weight down over here, emptying one, filling the other, emptying one, filling the other. The next time you fill the right leg, stay with that. Step, empty left foot out to the side, keeping it empty. Shift. Stay in the left leg, bring that empty right foot in, and then do that little internal change. So now the left foot's empty again. Step it out. So now we're moving across the room to our left. Change. Bring the right foot empty in. Put the weight through that right leg and then step the left foot empty out. Change. So you should be moving in the room to your left. If you aren't, that means you're not quite doing what I'm asking you to do. So pay a little closer attention, right? So bring the right foot in, change the weight. So now your left foot is empty, step it out. Change the weight to that left leg. So if you brought your left leg in right there, you're not doing what I'm doing. I'm stepping the foot out, leaving it there and shifting over to it. Then bring the right foot in. Change the weight to there. Last one, step the left foot out. Leave the left foot where it is. Put your body weight through the left leg. Then bring the right foot in Step the right foot out. We're going to go the other way. So now we're changing the bit. Shift over to the right leg. Left foot is empty. Bring the left foot in and leave it in. Change the weight. Put the weight through the left leg. Now the right leg should be empty. Step it out. Leave it over there. Change the weight over to the right leg. Left foot is now empty. Bring it in. Leave it in. Put the weight through it. The left leg. Right foot is empty again. Out. Change the weight. Left foot is empty. Bring it in. Leave it in. Put the weight through it. Right foot is empty again. Step it and leave it out. Change. And now we're moving across the room. Bring that foot in. Change. Step the foot out. Change. Bring that foot in. Change. Out. Let's go back and forth one more time. Side steps. In. Out. So now left foot is out. Change. Bring right foot in. Keep it in. Put the weight through so that left foot can step again. Meditation posture, pelvis up through the crown. And you're just using this empty and full exchange to sidestep across the room. But you're emphasizing step without shifting, shift without stepping, step without shifting, shift without stepping, step without shift, shift without step. Switch directions. In, out. Shift without stepping. Step in, don't shift the weight yet, and then shift through that left leg. Step. Shift. Step in. Shift. Step out. Feel that real estate, the pelvis real estate that has to be there for you to shift without stepping, and then step without shifting. Shift, that internal mechanism. Step. You gotta have that real estate. Real estate. In. Shift. Out. Shift. In. And parallel your feet. Shogun. Closing. Now this is where, if you have major balance issues, it's good to have, as I've mentioned in other classes, your stick, right? Some sort of a stick to work with. And we're going rotational, right? Because we're gonna have to sort of leave the chair. So now, right foot, empty, turn it out. So the toes point to the right side of the room, but your belly button still points forward towards the camera side of the space. Now, shift into the right leg, and you got to turn your belly button to point now towards the right wall, and then bring your left foot to match the right foot. So now you're parallel again. Empty the right foot again, turn the right foot out. The toes should point towards what we call the back wall, away from your camera, away from your computer. And then you shift, turn the belly button to point that way, and step the feet together. Then empty your right foot again, turn it out. Shift onto it, turn the body to match the right foot, bring the left foot to match the right foot. Empty the right foot, turn the foot out, shift, turn, and reorient. So what we're working on is easy orientation of your body towards the different areas of the room. So empty the right foot, doorbell rings or phone rings or something you have to pay attention to. You empty a foot, point the toe in that direction, and shift and aim yourself that way. Now it's to your right again. Empty the foot, turn it out, shift and reorient. Empty your right foot, turn it out, shift, reorient. Empty your right foot, turn it out, shift and reorient. To the left. Left foot empties, turn it out, shift, turn the belly button to point that way, step the right foot to match it. Empty left foot, turn it out, shift and reorient. Empty left foot, turn it out, shift and reorient. Empty and turn it out, shift. One more time all the way around. So very important is to turn the foot out and it's empty. Then all as one smooth movement, bring yourself around. So if I just turn all at once, kind of clumsily, I'm not training what I need to train. But if I turn that foot out and set it up and then work on closing my body towards that side, right? Because I'm creating an open hip here. And then I'm closing towards that side. Tai Chi is all about that, all about working on this soft, easy command to bring yourself around. Now, we take that one step further. Please watch me very closely for this one. Right foot turns out. Not only do I shift and reorient, but I take a step and shift. Then I do that again. I pick up that right foot, turn it out. I shift, reorient, and take a step in that direction. So now I'm sort of making a big square. Turn my right foot out again, shift, turn, take a step, and shift into that foot. And then finally, right foot turns, reorient, and take a step. And I'm back to where I started. So let's do that twice together. Right foot turns out. So we're in this position. Now it's closing or turning towards, orienting, and then that foot steps, left foot, and we shift into it. Right foot is empty. Turn the right foot out. Shift into that foot, turn the body, and take a step with the left foot in your new direction. So what we're working on is the phone is ringing over there. So you're setting up your foot and you're going shift and turn and step and shift and you would go, right? Again, turn right foot out, shift and turn the body and take a step and go. Once more, all the way around. Turn out, shift, and remind yourself that you're just meditating. You're just in a vertical alignment, relaxed as can be. You're just taking this meditation posture on a ride. Once you're back to the starting position, facing the camera, the computer, other way. Left foot turns out. We turn and shift into that left foot. The right foot is empty. Take a step, shift. Turn left foot out. Shift into it. So you're reorienting your eyes and whole body in space and then stepping one step in that direction and shifting into that foot. Turn the left foot out. Shift, turn, take one step in that direction. Turn that left foot out. Shift, turn, take one step in that direction. Again. The whole thing, as I mentioned before, can be executed with no effort. Just relax. Doesn't mean it's easy, because actually relaxing through movement is scary, it's hard. Made more so, let's go around one more time, made more so when you're dealing with the Parkinson's issues that are present, right? Obviously, right? So it's easy for me to say, oh, do it effortlessly, right? I understand that. But the point is, slide through the tissue, slide through. Almost like you're falling through the space within your body. And we're back to the starting. Shogun. Now, Take the hands onto groin, pubic area, genital area, the inguinal region, right? This whole region. Then slide the hands over the hips, get the sacral region, the tail, then up on the love handles a little, the lumbar spine. Then we do this little flow here where, as if we're sitting in a chair, you send your butt back and gently squat. Slide the hands down the outside of the legs, let them just swing around to the inside of the calf. And as you stand up, the hands come all the way up to the belly button. Go around the belt meridian to your lower back. Rub up and down a little bit. Loosen up any stiffness and tension. And then sliding the hands down the outside of the legs as you sort of sit like a squat. The hands just swing around to the inside. You stand up, they smoothly come up the inside. Go around the belt, up and down, and outer legs around, inner legs up, around. One more. Outer, inner. And then finally with the arms, up the outside of one arm, turn that arm palm up, come down the inside and off the fingertips. Turn that palm down, do it again. Same arm, up, down. Up, down. Up, down. So the arm has two sides, an outside and an inside. So we're getting both of those. We're going up the outside, over the shoulder, down the inside. Up the outside, over the shoulder, down the inside. Other arm, up the outside, turn, down the inside. Up the outside, down the inside. The idea is that what when the body is doing well at the chi level, that is how the life force flows through the body. Down the yang channels, up the yin channels, and down, if the arms were reaching to the sky, down the yang, up the yin, like this. This is the Tai Chi body, right? So, well done. Shogun last time. Settle, settle. And then seal, one hand over navel, other hand over navel, or over that hand. And then the Taoist bow, grab one thumb, fold hand over, bow. That's the closing bit. So find your comfortable seat, and any questions or thoughts, let's feel free to chat. I know many of you have places you got to be, so you're welcome to just wave and say bye.